Hey guys, how you doing? Matt Lighty, and this is episode 6 of Rags2Riches. And this episode is devoted almost exclusively to Uber Lab, as in the Uber version of Labyrinth. By this point, you've already done Normal, you've already done Cruel, you've already done Merc, you've already done probably a lot of the content we talked about, maybe Breaches, maybe at Ziri. Uber Lab is probably the next best, and is honestly the best money-making method in the game, probably, period. Just, there you go. Now, this requires, Eternal Labyrinth, requires an offering. You get these for doing your lab trials, and if you don't know what lab trials are, you see them in mapping every now and then, but if you want, you can go to Global 820, again, just to enter that /Global 820. It's called 820 because it's the date that Forsaken Masters came out, kind of. That's kind of how these channels work. You'll see people giving away ones. This guy here has Piercing Truth here, so you just PM him like, hey buddy, invite please or something, and then that way you could get all 6 of the trials you need. So those are in maps. You can see them here. You can see which ones you completed, and then you choose an offering to get in. So here's actually a demo run of me doing lab. And before I even show you that, here's a little cheeky clip from me doing it at Ziri. Okay, moment of truth. We'll see if they're ghosted. Yep, they are. All right. So if that means they're all ghosted. Wait, I saw the. Oh, yep. There we go. There's gonna be an event. I killed the wrong order also. Oh, all right. Doesn't matter. Just still too much damage. No uniques. Can you believe this shit? This game is crap. Crap game. You know, it says you'll discover very powerful monsters, plural. So does that mean that Ziri could also be possessed, or it only could be one of them? I don't think she is ghosted. Nope, she is ghosted. Alright. Okay. What is she ghost? I guess I can't tell for a little bit here. Sedationists. Oh, that's a lot of little tornadoes. Does it even do anything but little tornadoes? I don't really remember. Still pretty much go phase to phase anyway. Well, that was easy. So this is going to be a demo run of me doing lab, and if you want to consult what the lab layout is and the mechanics of lab itself, I'm not really going to be going over all of them in detail. So just to show you what lab is and how it is profitable. And in a week or so, I'll show you all the things I've sold from lab and for how much. You get a real idea of how much I've made from the time I've put in. And again, consult the chart. But here is the website, pwlab.com. You click on the date. So for me, it's October 14th when I'm recording this pre-part, and it'll show you the Uber Lab notes, and there's the layout. So on the layout itself, it just kind of shows you all the goodies. You know, there's a legend on the side, tells you Azaro, his phases, what they mean. If you want to consult any things, you can check the wiki, but most important thing is you want to hit every single gauntlet, every single puzzle, every single dark shrine, every single cache if you want to get the most value out of it. So the one thing I suggest doing, obviously before doing lab, you need your offering. You know, you gotta have your shit set up. I suggest using Rislothas and all. I suggest that also in the run in the middle of it, I realized. But number one thing you want to have is your Helms. Now, I don't have any extra. JK, I do. I have some Lion Pelts and Royal and Eternal Bergenet. Just make sure they're ID4+. These are the Helm bases I suggest using. So normally I'll just purchase a couple of these beforehand, at least 2, because you have the 1 enchant from just completing lab, and in case you have a dark shrine that also gets you a 2nd enchant, you want a 2nd helm. And you don't have to carry them, you can just, there's a stash in the final room, so feel free to leave them in your stash. But, you know, I tend to stock up a couple. They can get a little bit pricey, but you just want ID4, either Eternal Bergenet, Royal Bergenet, difference is a major between those two. Lion Pelt, really good for evasion base, best evasion base. And for uniques, I normally able to get Star Conges. It's pretty standard evasion life helm. And then Devotos is also quite good, but it's a little bit more pricey. Always make sure you have your ID4s ready for enchanting. So now here comes the run. First Uber Lab on the character, exciting. There's 2 gauntlets here, and then it leads off to the right and then Argus. So, all right, it's a curious lockbox. That means it gives us an additional key. The other one would be Labyrinth Trove, which just gives you a smaller version of one of the end game chests that you actually use the golden keys on. All right, you can still, it also drops stuff too, so it could give you other items like this one guy has Chancellor. You can see it drops stuff, but mostly just the key. It'll tell you like which direction you're going. So if you consult with PV Labs, for example, in my scenario, I want to go down and then down, so I know that you know, down and down's the way for me, not up. All right, we're going straight down to Argus is what we want. Argus is it's like a Zaro's dog, kind of. It's his pet companion, but we kill it, which is kind of sad, honestly. But we have to, because he drops a key, and we kind of really want that key, you know. But don't get it twisted. Just because he's like Zaro's pet, he honestly has more life than Zaro and can hit harder in some scenarios. Because He goes like Blood Rage and Rage mode. If your build's not capable of tanking through that, be careful because he could just hit you for 5-6k. Alright, there's the Argus door, so he'll always be locked away, so you don't have to worry about just walking up and him just aggroing onto you, but he's always behind this little door thing. Just be careful because he's angry. And he can't be frozen and stuff with that, but he doesn't have he's pretty easy to kill if you're like not a shit build. Shaped Arcade. I don't know if I need the key, but I guess I'm already here, so I might as well have gotten it, you know. There's Asperin's Trowel. Now we're going to swap on our Molten Strike. Either way, I'm just going to kind of fight him, and that's that anyway. So I don't really mind not doing these. I could do these, but yeah, that's whatever. You know, do as much difficulties if you want. If you activate these, he starts doing bears, and each Azara faces a corresponding trap, kind of. And then if you leave the trap up, activate the hard mode per se. He drops an extra key. That's the benefit. I'm really not super keen on all the mechanics, so this room has a Dark Shrine. Let's go find our Dark Shrine. Dark Shrines are always behind hidden switches. They're not very hidden, so you don't have to be like a puzzle master to know how to figure this shit out. But you'll see it on the mini-map. It'll be a room locked behind an area that you can't just naturally walk up to. That's kind of your cue to know where it is. A lot of dead ends in lab. I mean, by definition, it is a labyrinth, so shouldn't be surprised that's the case. Oh, there it is. See? I see it. There's the secret passage. Took me a minute to realize. Gotta go back up top. Alright, so here is the secret passage. Where's the switch? Oh, there's the switch. And this goes down, and then secret passage we go. And this one has like a couple levers we gotta flip. Just watch the ground. There's floor traps everywhere in this one. That's the whole thing. And there's our precious Dark Shrine. And it'll say whenever the effect is, it'll say it in chat and on the top right, so boom. The heart quickens, the blood thickens. I take 50% reduced damage from all lab traps. It's pretty good. Which means these things, it's really hard to die when you have the 50% damage taken from traps. So it's a pretty good one. It's one of the better ones to get, honestly. Just if you're worried about your build. When it says lab traps, that means the fire too. Although it does say from hits, so it's oddly worded. So remember, keep on looking out in the mini-map for the hidden room when you're looking for Dark Shrines. It'll be there. It's always going to be there. I think it is. Yeah, there's the Dark Shrine. You can see the hidden room already from here. Hopefully it's a good one. I remember I said you can't get stuff like Diamond Shrine, Acceleration Shrine. You can get Divine Shrine, which is extremely rare, but it's possible, and that just makes it so you're invulnerable the whole run. Brutal Shrine, not bad. Brutal just gives me increased damage and knockback, so it's pretty okay. It kind of fucks with me with Molten Strike, but yeah, it's still pretty good. It's actually kind of crazy. The experience from lab is quite good because it's a 75 zone, so, and the pack size is, that of like multiple maps in one area. Because how large the zone is, it's like you're clearing many maps at a time. So the experience is really nice. Oh, there's a curious lockbox. That's another key. That's what we want to see. Alright, one more key for the collection. So before we even get to Azara, we already have 3 golden keys, which is 3 more chests. And the chest at the end that's going to be most, if not all, your loot. So if we did turn on hard mode, you'd see them sitting right here. So for this one, portals is the easiest one. This is, people consider it's just like a free key almost. So all you have to do is the portals just summon trash mobs to kill, which is just like a benefit to you. It's just more flash charges, whatever, more things to leech off of. You just have to run around in circles until the portals come up. That's the only thing you have to do on your end. Wait until all the portals are up, and then you can kill them. You just gotta not kill the portals too. All right, so the portals are coming up right here. Now we can sit here and just burn down Azara pretty easily and kill all the little shitty mobs that he summoned. Alright, this next zone has a Dark Shrine and the Silver Cache. Now, Silver Cache is just open with a silver key, and you can do as many of those as you want. I tend not to really go too deep into them unless they're intrinsic lockers. And intrinsic lockers is a special one that gives you a lab-specific unique. Now, this one's Emperor's Vaults, and they all have different things they do and different names. But a lot of them are just like strong boxes, but Emperor's Vault is pretty okay. It's the what's it called? Quality strong box. So, for me, who actually wants all these little scraps, it's not bad. Lab layouts tend to be kind of similarly seated. So once you do a few Uber labs, you'll kind of get an idea of how these layouts work, and they are very similar in function and fashion. High fashion. You see me shield charging a lot, and it's really important to have a movement skill. It makes doing lab so much easier. Hopefully we get twice blessed. It's like the best one out of the key. Movement ceases, tension mounts. Alright, that's one of the bad ones. Not bad. It just means that the traps at the end are disabled in Nazaro's room. So again, if you're having trouble doing lab, it's fine. It just makes it a little bit easier for you. Yep, okay. This one has a dark shrine, and the room after this has a puzzle. So that's what we want, because we want potentially another curious lockbox. Although I don't think there can be any more. You see the dark shrine on the bottom right. Again, check the map for the hidden room. Switch. There it is. Come on, twice blessed. Discover what lies within. So that is a additional key. That's fine. That's fine. Not quite as good as twice blessed, but it's fine. Careful with bleeds. Yeah, I'm almost positive that although we take half damage from traps, it doesn't affect the bleed that's applied from the trap. There's a lot of weird wordings on things here, especially as a Valpak build like myself. It's a very fine line, and that's also why Risloth is so good, because it gives you your life flasks back just by sitting still, looking for every single puzzle, every single trap. And again, this is the method I prefer. If you just want to bum rush the last room and skip everything and just, you know, burn through your offerings to get more enchants, that's fine. I smell a floor puzzle. Hopefully it's a curious lockbox. Ah, it's a lab trove. Still good. We're still going to do it. So for floor puzzles, it's pretty simple, and a lot of puzzles have a lot of different ways you do it. This is like the last puzzle I think we even can really look at, but fire, lightning, cold. It's just a pattern. You repeat it. It's a nice little floor puzzle. Fire, lightning, cold. Fire, lightning, cold. Fire, lightning, cold. Fire, and we're out of here. It's that simple. If you stand on the wrong one or you get kind of scooped up, it'll just shoot some darts at you. But again, we don't take that much damage from darts, and they'd also, if you just stand still, they couldn't even kill you if you just took them all. And don't forget, in our specific scenario, we have our Unbearable Whispers 5 is going to proc at the end here, and it's a little bit spooky, so that's also going to be in the final room with all our loot. So if we somehow were to die to that, we would lose everything. To make it even easier, decoy totem behind him, Molten Strike up, and start attacking away. And he's done. Look how simple that was. 3 keys, 1 for the extra key, 1 for just killing him, and 1 because of the technical hard mode that is that is the portals. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keys. Pretty respectable, pretty good run. I'd say about high to high average. When we walk in here, there's going to be the spooky lady at the end. We just gotta be careful to not get somehow die to this bitch. Although I don't think she could kill us if we tried. There's our India's key, which is another part of what we wanted. And if you haven't ascended, click the altar first in case you were to DC. But here is where we get all the rewards for our looting. So you're going to get way more loot than you could actually carry out. So if you want, you could put it in another stash. Or in my scenario, I just tend to drop the rares that aren't good. I keep the 6 sockets, keep the uniques, but everything else I kind of just toss in the ground on the side, because you're going to need the room. Okay, so 6 chests, and within the chest you can have a ton of different things. Maps, cards, gems. It's really crazy. And sometimes you'll even get offerings back, and sometimes you'll even get more treasure keys. There's 10 different chests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's just guess away. First chest, we just got regular loot. Most times we get a unique. This time we did not. But yeah. And sometimes it could be ID4. These are not. You'll get an ID4 chest every now and then, which is just means it's dropping higher level stuff. But again, just check your trash and toss it back. Alright, 1 key down. Let's go to this one. Again, trash chest, kind of. Unfortunate. Well, there's our unique. This is the corrupted chest. Could have get a 6 link. Didn't. Wow, unfortunate. Let's do this top one. This is a bunch of 6 sockets. 2 more keys. Oh, here's the currency chest. Nice. So we got a lab-specific unique right now, and this just happens randomly. So in our case, it is Zurgil's Crank. Yeah, it's not a whole lot. Couple chaos at best. Yeah, a couple chaos pretty much, like 3, 4C. But just to give you an idea, if you hit the big one, Death's Door boots, they can be worth a lot. 5x. Like, they're expensive. They're really expensive because they're really fucking good. But let's pick up our currency, and we still have 1 more key here. Okay, last key. Random trash. Alright, and a lot of uniques. So this is pretty common again. Like I said, it could just rain uniques. It's just enchants. This is the magic of lab. And now for the most important part. We're all out of keys, and you may think, well, all the chests are gone. That's the loot that matters, right? Wrong. The most important part is the blessing, the Helm enchant. Now, before your Helm enchant, you want to make sure it's on the best possible base. So either you choose an I-84 with the best base. So in my scenario, I have an Eternal Bergnet here, I-84. It's like the best armor base. Or you choose a unique that's really good. For example, Stark Conjas is a good one. Devotos is also really good for helmets. I'm just going to choose the Eternal Bergnet here. And you just Helm enchant it and hope it goes good. 3 additional split arrow projectiles. Honestly, it's one of the better ones. So if this was on Stark Conjas, I just happened to guess wrong in this scenario, it could be worth a lot. Any of the ones that add projectiles and the ones that add functional abilities to your things are insane. So we can actually check how much this is worth, and this could be worth a pretty penny. So in this scenario, I'll just type in I-84, and then we just do split arrow projectiles, and you just type 3, and then you'll just see whatever comes up here. All right, so we got Hubris Circlets. This is, of course, because the CI meta was big. And then you have Rat's Nest for ADC, and there's a Royal Bergnet. This is the same thing, essentially, as Eternal. So in my scenario, this is an Exalted. This can actually sell for an Exalted. You may think that's ridiculous, but yeah, it'll sell. If this was on a Lion Pelt, which is the evasion base, it'll sell for way more. 10x probably is too steep, but it could sell for 5x for sure. This is actually an insane one to hit, so I could probably sell this for at minimum an Exalted Orb. So that right there was an example of an Uber Lab run. And again, you could augment this if you wanted to save your time by doing Twice Blessed. I tend not to because Twice Blessed and Twice Enchanted cost like 15C, but you could buy offerings for way cheaper than that. I mean, you see me selling them, but Twice Enchants are 15C, right? So that's how much that costs. That's just for one extra enchant, right? But if you wanted to just buy an offering in Standard, yeah, there's 6 to 7C each, right? So you're paying twice, like you could just do 2 more runs. If time isn't an issue for you, and you just want to run them because you want to get loot and you don't really care about, doing everything super efficiently with time-wise, buy lab offerings. They're like 7C each, and you're getting twice the bang for your buck as buying Twice Blessed. It's just really about saving your time. All right, so that was my lab demo and Uber Labyrinth run. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and this is, I've run a couple since then, some of the good ones. Static Strike AoE, not very good, but it can still sell for Exalted. LE hit damage, it sounds janky, but on the right bases like Lion Pelts, it can be quite useful. So any of the big 40% ones, 40% damage ones on the right bases will sell for a couple X. Of course, the split out from earlier, but again, I'll keep you guys up to date on what I've gotten on my lab enchants, what I've gotten from my lab drops, and how much they sell for. So I hope to see you guys next time. I'm at Lighty, and have a good day.